Okay, welcome back to the final part of the show, and that's the music part of the show. And we are doing Jay-Z, or Jay's, because he's taking his hyphen away, as Josie will explain in a minute.
Well, yeah.
And it's Magna Carta Holy Grail.
Yes.
Correct.
Thank you.
He can read.
Josie, let's start with you.
I enjoyed it. I liked it. I do like Jay-Z as an artist, but I've never really been the sort of liking a whole album of Jay-Z or of a lot of rappers really. I'm usually just the one song that they release as a single that goes huge and I like it. And that makes me sound quite commercial, but it's true. But listening to this album, I thought it was really, really good, and I liked every single track. I didn't have a bad thing to say about any of the tracks. I mean, it wasn't my favourite album ever to be created, but I did enjoy it. I think there was quite a lot of skill in it. It was interesting, and it was good and catchy, and melodies were great, and I really enjoyed it.
John?
I liked it, yeah. Exactly what you'd expect from a Jay-Z album. Really well produced. Some really good sample use. Some great riffs. However, the only thing I think really that really marks it down is the use of the N-word, or as our colleague Lance Dickless says, our DVD reviewer, Nissan. Yeah.
If you go to
Nissan.
Django Review, Lance
Django
Dickless,
Review,
who is our celebrity reviewer for DVDs, he says the word Nissan as the N-bomb.
Yeah. There's
some
tracks where it is literally like every other word, and it kind of turns.
Flew to Paris, Nissan.
Yeah,
and sticking out with my boys, Nissan.
And it's kind of like
sitting in a chair,
too much.
Nissan.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you, John. But I'm kind of gutted about it. I'm gutted that you mentioned it, because before you mentioned it, I hadn't noticed at all, because we had a quick chat before about it, and John mentioned it, and I hadn't noticed it at all. And then when I was I noticed it here and there.
Nissan's all over.
It's everywhere.
I didn't really pick up on it, and then re-listening to it after you said it, I was like, oh my god, they really do say it all the time. And then that made me had to cut down on the skill for it, because I thought, well, it's not very skillful to just fill every fifth word with Nissan, is it? So it unfortunately marked it down for me, knowing that they used it that much.
I agree. I don't think I marked him down because of that. I did mark him down because of that, but not because of his skill. Anybody who's into hip hop, I'm into hip hop. Jay-Z is obviously one of the best rappers in the world, but is this anything special? I think it had too much pump behind the actual album that came out, if you know what I mean, because it already was the quickest selling album before it was released. It's the first ever album to get number one and platinum before it's released. Nothing ever done that before, and if you can do that as an artist, it doesn't matter if the album's rubbish. You've broken a record. You've already made that album. Yeah, but it's massive.
It's more about the future.
It's his 12th studio album, and to me, it feels like this is his. He hasn't done an album for 10 years, and this is his comeback album. This is just another album he's released, but it seems bigger than that.
It's more about the future, because if he released this, and it would still be exactly the same whether it was good or bad in terms of quickest selling and stuff. But in the future, it would mean that his sales wouldn't be as high because if this was bad. So it's not necessarily people are going to blindly buy it.
I think they would.
Well, but because that's what I'm saying. If they do blindly buy it, it doesn't mean that they're going to love it and then buy his next one. It doesn't mean that he's going to become more successful.
No, well, I don't know. I personally think this has made him more successful. I feel
richer.
I feel this like his last album was Watch the Throne in 2011, and
that was his collab with
Kanye West. Canyon. I said Canyon a few weeks back. Go and check it out. Give it a watch. I don't care. Yeah, I agree, but I still think this album's got a lot more presence in the music industry than anything he's done for a long time.
Definitely.
And that is because of his publicity has been smack on with the Beyonce and the baby. It's been the right time to release this. Does this stick up to its thing? I think it kind of does, but some of it lacks. There's no real tune that you listen to and go, oh, this is a smasher, this is proper.
There is for me.
There were a few for me. I unfortunately didn't write the name of the track down like a fool, but there were a few for me. There's one towards the end of the album. It starts off a bit random, and then all of a sudden is that the
one with sort of live drums? Is it that one?
I think so.
Yeah.
By far my favourite was the track featuring Justin Timberlake. I really like it. Yeah.
First track. Yeah.
I really, really like it.
Yeah.
It stood out for me.
Okay, yeah, man, I'll take that back. He's got a couple that do stand out, but not in terms of hip hop. I think it's like you said, the one with Justin's very nice melodies, piano, and then he comes in and does his rap. They're not like dropping the bass and the cars going and bouncing. Even though he's got a few that are quite grimy and dark.
Yeah.
I think it's.
But that's
you get
what Jay-Z. Definitely get your money's worth. But then
16 tracks, and they're all good.
Jay-Z's known for he's somebody who's always pushed the boundaries of hip hop and what he does and rap. He's one of the pioneers of bringing all the different samples and stuff like that in.
Well, he was
don't get me wrong. I know that there were a lot of others that did it before,
wasn't he?
But didn't do it as maybe didn't do it as well as he has done, and he's just developing a little bit further.
Up. He's done what maybe Puffy, what P Diddy or P Liddy or whatever his name is now. He's done what he probably should have done, which is he's stuck to his roots and he's stuck to everything, and it's paid off for him. Yeah. He's now releasing his 12th album, and it's number one. Probably going to be all over the world,
and so many big names associated to it.
Yeah, he's got everybody's on it. It's done,
from one.
Which Canyon.
Oh well.
Canyon's nowhere to be seen, which we kind of think that there was a radio.
Had a few disputes, didn't they?
There was a Radio 1 interview, and two of the tracks Kanye tried to get for his album.
Well, he tried to get it for Watch the Throne.
And he wouldn't give it to him, and they had a bit of argy-barges, and we're thinking that Magna Carta, Holy Grail, is a attack on his Jesus.
Yeah.
Which actually does stand for Jesus in...
we looked it up after.
In somewhere that's not here.
Yeah.
Somewhere
Far East.
Yeah,
Far
I think
East.
It was Asian.
Yeah, so, I think it should be a gold in terms of if you like hip hop and things like that. Yeah. We'll give our final score, but I think everybody's raving about it, and I think maybe that's the reason why it's getting more publicity. I don't know. Production wise, I thought it was mint. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
There was no real tracks that stood out because I feel like his rapping, for me, it's always about him and how much money he's got. And I know that's what rappers do, but they didn't distinguish. It was the same sort of rap on each. I think there was one or two tracks was slightly different. Yeah. But a lot of them was like, look at me, I'm now with Beyonce, I'm a lucky guy, got my daughter, I'm going to get $1 trillion, I'm going to go even a step further, which is great. But when it's the 10th track and it's the same...
I feel the way he does it, it is repetitive, but the way he does it, it doesn't feel like it's in your face, like I'm trying to...
Well, you like him, don't
you?
You like Jay-Z, he's a nice guy.
Well, they're like the biggest power couple in like hip-hop at the moment, and probably will be for a very long time.
Isn't it?
And you can't hate on the guy, you really can't.
But I think, after the 6th track of him just going on about that he wants to make $1 trillion, I was like, I like a bit more funk to my hip hop personally, and less Nissans and bling bling. Yeah. But go on then, John, score.
I gave it 79, so quite a good score.
Yeah.
Good album, enjoyed it.
You're going to keep it on your iPhone pod? iPhone pod?
iPhone pod. I might do.
Nissan.
That's the new next generation.
Yeah.
The iPhone pod.
The iPhone pod.
Yeah. I gave it 66. I'm starting to kind of question my own judgment on that because, unfortunately, I had to put it down in terms of like the cover art. I just thought was really uninteresting, and and I do really like it, and I like all the tracks, and I probably will keep it on my iPhone pod and listen to it. And yeah, it is really good. So, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, not 66, 69.
You gave it 69.
Yeah.
I gave it 81. I think it's a great album. I'm kind of thinking I should have given it a little bit less because I don't think I'll keep playing it.
Take your points and pass them to me.
Yeah, I think I might take a few tracks off it and leave it because I do feel like they're all quite similar parts.
Yeah.
You know, there isn't anything to me that stood here and the rest stood here. They were all generally around the same. Good, all in good area, but all around the same sort of scoring. So that gives us an MGAM total final score of 76, which is silver. It's a silver.
Yeah, I'm happy
Bling
with that.
for you, Jay-Z.
Bling, bling.
Not quite gold, but
we've got very high standards.
we do anything over 90 for gold, and you got 76, so you're silver. But like I said, I think there was a few issues with it in terms of nothing really stood out for me. But everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
Yep.